lot of people would say that the hardest part of RV life is the repairs and maintenance. Finding a spot. Having to travel. That's not right. The hardest part of RV life is what we're going through right now. And this video is going to be a little bit different. We tend to play to the upside.
We like to put a positive spin on things. We don't like to dwell on negative things.
And sometimes you have to. So we're going to talk about what really is the hardest part of full-time RV life. What was it, 2 weeks ago that Kayla and Aria came here to visit us?
My next to the youngest child, Kayla, and her daughter Aria came to visit us from Tennessee. She usually takes her somewhere for her birthday, and this year they decided to come see us.
And that was quite the trip. I mean, this was the first time that Aria had ever been on a plane. So, and it was great to see them. I mean, they were here for about a week.
Yeah.
And we got to go do some things, and we got to go out and have dinner with them, and it was really nice. But as beautiful and wonderful as that was, it brought out some emotions, specifically in Cindy, regarding her other children. Now, we have to talk about a little bit how our life went when we were in a Sticks and Bricks.
We were the place to be.
Oh, we were the party house. We were absolutely the party house. The alcohol flowed, the parties flowed. You never knew when there could be a pop-up party at our house.
Karaoke, games.
Oh, yeah. And like Cindy said, we were the place to be.
You never knew who was going to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we were shocked when people were like, oh, we heard you had people over tonight. So.
And there were one specific couple that were our best friends, and they were always there. I mean, they were there sometimes when there wasn't a party going on, just hanging out. And Cindy's daughter, Kristen, lived not too far from us in North Carolina. And my daughter, Alyssa, for a period lived with us, and then lived in Roanoke Rapids, which was about an hour away. And Cindy's mom literally lived right around the corner. Yeah. And so we had a very tight social circle. Yeah. And in 2019, when we made the decision that we had to go on the road if we wanted to basically keep our financial health in check.
Well, and it was partly that, and it was partly we wanted to see the country. We wanted to see things we hadn't seen, and travel nursing was the opportunity to do that.
And I couldn't find a decent job in Eastern North Carolina. So it would have been maybe me moving, or us moving to Charlotte or Raleigh, or leaving North Carolina anyway.
And we're not big city people, so.
No. No. But one of the things that we had to cope with was that we weren't just leaving behind North Carolina. We were leaving behind that tight social circle that we spoke of.
Friends and family.
Right. And we had to sit down and talk with them. And we had to make them understand that it wasn't that we were leaving them, we were leaving the situation.
And my mother, of course, didn't take it very well. She loves having family close by, but she understood. She understood the want to travel because she's always liked traveling, and so she came to terms with it. Although she still wants me to come back every time I talk to her.
Yeah, the phrase "When are you coming home?"
Every conversation
is in every conversation. Yeah, and I mean, for me, it wasn't as hard of a separation. Although Crystal and Ed are our couple friends. Crystal was my best friend before Cindy and I even met. So it was hard for me to pull away from that, and like I said earlier, my daughter Alyssa and Cindy's daughter Kristen were right there,
and your grandkids,
and my grandkids by Alyssa, and we don't look at our kids as her kids and my kids. You know, we're doing that to keep it clear for you. It's our kids, you know. And the bottom line is that was not easy to do. But we knew what we had to do, and we did it.
And what we wanted to do. I mean, we had to weigh do we want to give up this opportunity to go and see and do and travel that we both wanted to do against staying in one place? You know, what's going to, at some point you have to say, you know, what's your priority and what is it that you want to do? I mean, we're not young, so we wanted to go and do what we could do and see what we could see while we can. And there was no really putting it off because we're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And so
who is?
So I mean, it was kind of a quick transition because we like decided to do it and did it within 3 months, 2 months.
It was 3 months.
We just made the decision so quickly and made the action so quickly that we didn't dwell on the drawbacks. We just looked forward to what we were going to be able to do.
Well, now it's almost 5 years later, and my kids, and again, that clarification is just so that you can understand. My 2 sons and my daughter, they are in touch with me pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah, you usually hear from somebody every day. Yeah.
And once a week, my sons and I play D&D. We are Dungeons and Dragons players. I'm a nerd. Okay.
Alrighty, it's time for Dungeons and Dragons.
Tell them how long you've been playing.
Since 1982.
So
yeah,
it's a long game.
Yeah. And we do that on Skype, so we can actually see each other. And my daughter Alyssa, I chat with her pretty much regular basis. And Cindy chats with her son Charlie
in California
daily.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Daily, yeah.
But Kayla and Aria coming last week or 2 weeks ago, I think made you realize a little bit more how really not in touch with the other kids you've been.
And we've seen each other from time to time. We went to Charlie and Will's wedding back November a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas, and all the kids were there. My kids were there because it was their brother getting married. And we had all of our kids together not long before we left North Carolina.
For her graduation.
And
our wedding.
And he's been to Pennsylvania by himself to see his family up there. And then I've been to North Carolina for my mother's 80th birthday. So it's not like we haven't seen them at all. It's just that it's been sporadic, and it's been one of us at a time because of finances and pets and job and all that. So it turns out to be easier for one person to go see that side of the family, the other person go see that side of the family. I guess what really came to the forefront when Kayla was here and after she and Aria left was that I don't get to see them as much as I want to, that I don't get to interact with them. And we just had a discussion about what's the difference. I mean, we live in 2024 when we can Skype or FaceTime or text or message, or we can be in contact pretty much constantly. But what's the difference of that through the technology and actually being with each other?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of a question we're still kind of mulling over.
Yeah, and if maybe you have an answer for it. If you do, drop us a comment.
But I mean, it's obvious that it's different to spend the weekend together or spend a week together than it is to talk to each other for 20, 30, maybe an hour on a computer as it is to be together. But I mean, maybe it's just a mama thing. I don't know.
You know, and to look at it from my side, I haven't been able to be there for the birth of 4 of my grandchildren. My sons each have 2 children. I was kind of around for the eldest one's birth and a little bit of her early life, but Penny, Charlotte, and now most recently Elliot, I have not been in their presence.
And so that's, to us, the hardest thing. The hardest thing is the not being able to just spend time with our kids and grandkids. When Kayla and Aria were here, it was, I had a few moments where I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if I want to be gone all the time. I don't know, do I need to move back to Tennessee or North Carolina and stay? And when I weigh it back and forth, I don't want to give up what we're doing now.
And I feel like the immediate gratification of getting there and hugging and, everybody, oh, you're here, yeah, which happened when we did the contract in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That fades.
Yeah.
And
they're all adults. They all have their lives. Most of them have kids. They're all working and doing their thing, and we don't expect them to just everything come to a screeching halt for them to come hang out with us all the time. We want them to live their lives, and so it's been a little emotional journey, but I've come to terms with the fact that this is our life and this is what we like doing. And I think if you asked all of our kids, they would say, please go do what you want to do. They want us to be happy. They want us to do what we're doing, and as long as we want to do it. So it's not like, and we've got kids in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Tennessee, and California. So it's not like we could choose one place and be with all of them anyway.
Exactly. And I mean, Cindy is now getting her California nursing license, so it's a pretty good possibility that sometime next year we're going to do a contract in California, which will bring us close to Charlie and Will. I'm not sure that the East Coast is for us anymore.
I don't know. We really loved Southwest. We love it.
Yeah. We loved, I think, just the West in general.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we'll hook her up and head back to the East Coast at some point.
And also, taking into consideration my mother's there, my father's there, they're both in their 80s, and so, that's something that kind of pulls at me sometimes too. And I have gone, like I said, on her 80th birthday, went and spent some time there. And, it's just a balancing act.
Yeah.
We've had to kind of...
And I think something that a reality that has kind of come to fruition for you is that really, what would you do if you were there?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't give up your job. You can't give up your whole life, so you can't be there 24 hours a day taking care of them.
Yeah.
So we do it from afar.
Yeah.
My parents passed away some time ago, so I don't have that. But I mean, we haven't stayed going back to the friend side of it. We haven't stayed steadily in touch with our couple friend. And it's hard to make friends when you live this lifestyle. I mean, there's a guy at Cactus Country that, Ray, he and I talk often. Sometimes he'll help me with something, I'll help him with something. But now he's there, and I don't even know if he's there, because he told me he was planning on not being there for the summer. I think he's in California, and we're here in Cottonwood.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's difficult to make real solid friends on the road when you're going to be leaving in 3 months or 6 months.
Or they're going to be leaving in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So you kind of, and I think that's what we really want to put forward to everybody, is that you need to evaluate if you can handle that kind of situation before you dedicate yourself to a full-time RV life. Can you live 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles away from your kids and be satisfied with the FaceTiming or the texting daily or the whatever, okay? Because if you can't, you need to not do this.
Yeah. And another thing is talking with your family about the fact that you're out seeing all these awesome things, but you'd love for them to come out and see some of it too.
Yeah.
That was one of the great things about Kayla and Aria being here, is we got to show Kayla Sedona. And
just seeing the look on her face and on Aria's face when they saw the red rocks for the first time.
And the opportunity to share some of what we get to do all the time with somebody that we care so much about. And we keep telling our kids that the road goes both ways and the planes go both ways.
Right.
So we'd love to have any of them out at any time, but it's just difficult sometimes to realize that, you know, it could be another 6 months or a year before I see any of them. And I have decided I'm going to make more of an effort to do more FaceTime and Skype or whatever, video calls, and do more contacting and staying in touch more often.
And I am definitely going to keep my current schedule current. I think I've kind of started to slip a little bit with my daughter. But that's because she just got a management position and she's been
working a lot,
working crazy hours. But I'm going to try and get back into that groove too. Those are the solutions.
Yeah.
If those solutions are enough for you, then yeah, you're ready for this. If they're not, you have to find a point where you can either say, no, I can't do this,
or you're only going to do it for a certain amount of time and come back home and then spend that time with family and friends.
Exactly. Thanks for watching. See you next week.